without new technology and new innovation for our salespeople to be able to provide new, integrated, exciting solutions to meet the needs, then no matter what you do, it's going to be a challenge. So for sustaining companies' growth, the investment that Pelco is making in this business right now is heavy into the camera technology, but also into a brand new VMS platform that allows a lot of new seamless integration capabilities with third parties so that you can tie in disparate systems, whether it's an access control platform or license plate recognition platform, but leveraging that ability and bringing that innovative technology into place is really how we're going to go about sustaining and adding new growth to the business. That's key for us in this time. Top trend in the security industry today is maintaining an open architecture, in personal opinion. I mean, unless, I just touched on this a moment ago, unless you've got the ability to do everything, which I would say no one does everything perfectly, then you have to step back and realize what is it you do well and what you should rely on your partners to do their part. If you provide a tool or a mechanism for everybody to come together into one single application, where the operator can benefit from having best of breed in every single class at their choice, then that is what's the most powerful right now in the security industry, in leveraging other manufacturers to pull together the best solution. Doesn't mean that you can't have, one company providing what they believe to be the best of everything, but quite often that's not going to be the case in a practical world, a realistic world. So you have to provide that flexibility to pull in cameras from another company, access control from another company, and again, I touched a moment ago, license plate recognition from one provider, and provide that seamless architecture so you have a unified user experience. I don't see the megapixel race is over. I think it's one thing to say that I've got the highest megapixel in my class, don't get me wrong, and that's one approach, but I think it's really how you manage the video. I can tell you from an approach from Pelco's perspective, truly where we see the added benefit and where the technology going from megapixel race is your multi-sensor cameras. So you have the ability to see in all directions at once, or maybe a 180-degree view or 270-degree view around a building, and for that you truly need higher megapixel cameras, right? So we've just launched a 12-megapixel camera of our own for those types of applications, but truly it's going to be, I need a 20-megapixel, a 30-megapixel, a 40-megapixel camera. I mean, until we start getting to that approach for the higher megapixel cameras, you're not going to be able to do away with PTZ cameras, but there will be a certain point where PTZ cameras will go away entirely, or at least can be effectively replaced. There's definitely going to be an analysis done, but if I can provide a complete view of all locations of all times, as opposed to my PTZ camera that's maybe looking over here, but we know the incident is always going to be the opposite direction, right? If I can provide that seamless view of having multiple camera sensors looking every direction, then you solve that problem. And that's where I see the megapixel race going, is having those multi-sensor cameras, and then beyond that, what do you do with it? Okay, it's one thing to have multiple sensor cameras, but can you have a perfectly blended scene that is perfectly color balanced, perfectly, stitched or blended together across all the sensors? That's where things are going to the next level. Biggest challenge we have as a company right now, to be quite honest, is, I would say, in many respects, just rebuilding who we are. All right, Pelco has been in the video security market for decades and has been carrying a legacy, a burden of a legacy of being an analog provider. And honestly, I mean, we've been selling more IP products than we have in analog products in several years. But I think we're still looked as your traditional nuts and bolts provider of an analog company, and do not have a consumer brand name to go along with it. So it's a matter of establishing Pelco as a leader within the IP business,